Pool table for House of Buds, a new license for the Duck Inn pub, and still no word on a liquor license for Lambert's on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's January 30th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. On today's episode, we're taking a look at today's licensing authority hearing. First up, a license transfer and some changes for Main Street business Palio Pizzeria.
The variance to increase the seating from the Board of Health, and that meets the specifications before you. And we're looking for your approval today so we can continue on to the ABCC with this application.
Now, there's a new manager also,
Yes, that is myself.
and the experience for that the new manager might have in the serving of wine and malt beverages.
I've been serving wine and malt beverages there. I've been managing since the spring of 2011 at Palio Pizzeria.
So you've been there as an employee. Everything appears to be in order. Any questions from the commissioners? Anyone present that would like to speak to this application, either in favor or opposed? Seeing none, Mr. Berman.
Thank you. On the application of Palio Pizza, doing business as Palio Pizza at 435 Main Street, Hyannis, Paul Mazzio, manager for transfer of annual common victular wine and malt license to Palio Inc., doing business as Palio Pizzeria. Sam Mazzio, manager, with an alteration of the premises. Description: 3 doors at the pizzeria restaurant, 1 for private use in the back kitchen, 2 for public use. 1 door in the front of the pizzeria and the second door on one side, 32 seats at indoor booths and 18 seats at the tables in center of the restaurant. In addition, there are 6 to-go stools. Total seating is 82 for service, 6 to-go for stools, and an additional 32 outdoor seats inside a barrier. I would move it be granted.
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Your application has been approved.
Later on, the Mill Street Tavern, doing business as the Duck Inn pub, went before the board for a new all-alcohol license, a new entertainment license, and changes to seating at its Main Street location.
Reduced the seating from what we advertised at the request of the licensing authority. We've reduced the indoor seating to 50, and the patio seating would remain at 44. We took out 1 table, and we took a 3-person love seat in the entertainment area, made it a 2-person love seat, so we eliminated 1 more seat there. The reason for that was for the occupancy permit, we could account for the employees. And originally, with the original setup, the building department determined that when you added the employees to the seating, we overdid the capacity for the building. So we've reduced our requested seating to 50 interior and 44 on the patio. The menu will be similar to past years, primarily burgers and sandwiches. The patio does a large lunch business where the drop-off for the duck boats is, and that seems to be what has been selling in the past at any rate. The manager, John Green, who's with me here today, has worked in many restaurants throughout the town, most recently as manager of the Hyannis Anglers Club and Oceans. With respect to parking, the property abuts a town-owned municipal parking lot directly behind them, and there is access to all of Main Street and other town-owned lots. As was mentioned, we're also applying for an entertainment license. Now, we're asking for a broad range of entertainment, obviously, as you heard. It'll all depend on really what the clientele and what the business will bear. It's unlikely, although we've asked for up to 5 musicians, that it would pay to have 5 musicians in a 50-seat restaurant. There may be instances where somebody wants to rent the hall for a fundraiser and a band is donating their services, so we've requested that amount. We don't anticipate on a regular basis having that amount. It's also important to note that all entertainment can be confined to inside the restaurant building, and there will be no speakers outside on the patio.
A couple of words of caution and then a couple of things to the board. 5 entertainers in a space this small seems kind of excessive, number one. Number two, 5 entertainers now brings down their capacity from 50 to 45. And if you include anybody else working in the band, it comes down even lower. The problems we had in the past was with a single entertainer, and now the applicant before you is asking for up to 5 entertainers, and it would only be an assumption that the amount of speaker equipment involved with 5 would be greater than 1. And a word of caution as well, in the past, the patio doors have been left open, and the licensee that held the license at that time made the argument that the entertainment was inside the building, when in fact the noise came outside the building. And looking at the floor plan, I see an area that's marked off for entertainment where there is a couch, and one of my questions would be, is the configuration of the inside of the establishment going to change when the 5 entertainers come in to perform, and how is that configuration going to change the inside capacity of the restaurant?
Now, this premises was licensed for 1 entertainer in the past, is that correct?
In the history of the Duck Inn Pub, I've been in there in the past where there's been more than that, going back into the 80s and 70s even. But most recently, I don't know really what they had. I know they had karaoke.
Yeah, now, we had an awful lot of problems with this premises from the Highness Inn Motel, from across the street, and I know a lot of that was to do with the patio and the outside speakers. And it's going to be difficult during the summertime not to provide some type of entertainment if you're going to have outside seating and an outside area where an entertainer could conduct, his business there. So you're assuring this authority that there'll be no noise in that patio, or no sounds at all, everything contained inside.
There are no speakers being put out on that patio.
The licensing authority approved new licenses for the Duck Inn Pub. At a previous meeting, the owners of Lambert's in Centerville had applied for a license to sell beer and wine in its store. But some confusion over just how many licenses are available in town left the matter open. The licensing authority again discussed the matter this morning, but still have no answer.
So the continuation was to have a determination made by the ABCC on whether or not there were wine and malt licenses available for this authority to issue. And we'll hear from Mr. Scally regarding his interaction with the ABCC.
Well, Commissioners, I guess much to my dismay, after calling the ABCC, and actually I faxed the information to Mr. Sacramone over at the ABCC, he said, send me all the information, I'll get you a new sheet over as quickly as possible, and I'm still waiting for that sheet. The latest call that I received the end of last week was that if we don't have that to you by Monday, is this going to cause a problem? I said, well, it probably would, yes. Yeah. But he said we just haven't gotten to that information yet. So I sent him our renewal information showing that we have available licenses and that we needed a new quota sheet. And I'm just waiting for them to do that. I still have every confidence that they will show that we do have available licenses. It just hasn't come from them in writing yet.
The board hopes to have word from the ABCC in time for its next meeting. Also at this morning's meeting, the board approved a new auto dealer license for Jack Carter's Kia of Cape Cod and said yes to a pool table at the House of Buds. A show cause hearing for Precious Gems and Coins was again postponed. It's been continued to March 26th of this year. In other news, parents of middle school-aged children can learn how to better protect their young ones on the Internet. This Wednesday, Barnstable Police Department Detective Sergeant John Murphy and Detective Kevin Connolly will lead a session focusing on the dangers of cell phone and Internet use, including online predators and gaming. The workshop is from 7 to 8 p.m. this Wednesday, February 1st, at the St. Francis Xavier Preparatory School. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Chakowski will be speaking at the Centerville Civic Association's annual meeting. That's tonight at 7 p.m. And finally, Mary Jenkins from the Mass Cultural Council will lead a presentation on the benefits of the state's cultural district designation, as well as discuss the benefit of investing in the arts and sciences. All are invited to attend the public meeting this Wednesday, February 1st, for the presentation and question and answer session. It gets underway at 9:30 a.m. in the Town Hall hearing room that's on the second floor here in Barnstable Town Hall. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.